He who has ears to hear, let him hear. When Jesus says that, he is saying, listen to me. In Matthew 13, when Jesus tells the parable of the sower, he explains to his disciples that it is possible to hear, but not listen and understand, and to see and not perceive. But those who do see and perceive, and listen and understand, will not only be given the knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom, but are able to align themselves to God's ways to be made whole, and they will also produce a crop 100, 60, and 30 times what was sown. There is a way to listen that will transform your life, your relationship to God and others. So let's have a look at how we can learn to truly listen. First of all, we must realize that what we are in the natural, we will be in the spirit. I believe those who are good listeners in the natural are also good listeners in the spirit. The better you are able to listen to those whom you can see, the better you'll be able to listen to the one who is unseen. Secondly, it is important to understand that listening is an attitude of the heart. It is not simply directing our attention to someone and hearing what is being said. It is intentionally positioning our hearts toward the other person in order to understand what is being said, what is meant, and even what the other person is feeling. I believe there are 5 attitudes of a listening heart that enable us to truly hear and understand God and one another. The first attitude is a focused heart. Just as King David reveals a focused heart in Psalm 27, where his one desire was to encounter God in his temple, so a focused heart chooses to focus on the one person they are listening to. The second attitude is an attentive heart. David's longing was to dwell in God's presence and give him his undivided attention. In the same way, an attentive heart resists being distracted by other things, like phones or looking at the time or thinking about all the things that still need to be done while you're listening to the other person. An attentive heart is committed to listening to the other person. The third attitude is an inquiring heart. King David's desire was to seek the Lord in his temple. He wanted to know and experience more of God. In the same way, a good listener genuinely wants to find out not only what the other person is saying, but what they really mean. An inquiring heart asks questions to find out more about what has been communicated, to really understand what the other person means and even feels. The fourth attitude is a submitted heart. I love the example of Moses going up the mountain to meet with God with 2 tablets of unwritten stone, and how God then writes his words on the stone tablets. A submitted heart does the same. It does not judge what is being said, and it does not presume to know what is meant by what is being said. A submitted heart presents an unwritten heart, if you will, on which the other person can write what they want to say, mean, and feel as you listen. The fifth attitude is an understanding heart. Good listeners are able to reflect what has been communicated to them, not just what was said, but the meaning and feeling behind the words. I love the example of Jesus when he raised Lazarus from the dead. Jesus had such compassion for his friends and wept, even though he knew that he was about to raise Lazarus from the dead and had a solution. He still identified with others because he had an understanding heart. I encourage you to study Matthew chapter 13 verses 1 to 23 to understand how God wants us to listen so that we can understand the secrets of the kingdom, so that we can align ourselves to God's will and be made whole, and so that we can produce abundant fruit. I also encourage you to reflect on Psalm 27 verse 4 that reveals David's heart that was focused on the Lord, attentive to the Lord, and inquiring of the Lord. The image of Moses receiving the 2 tablets of stone inscribed by the finger of God is found in Exodus 31 verse 18, and is a wonderful picture of what a submitted heart looks like. And finally, I encourage you to study Christ's life and how he demonstrated an understanding heart as he listened to people and had great compassion for them, because he didn't just hear what they said, but identified with the people as they spoke. So let us learn to listen and cultivate listening hearts that are focused, attentive, inquiring, submitted, and understanding. Practice listening to others so that you learn to listen to God. He longs to reveal the secrets of His kingdom to you and make you whole and fruitful. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. God bless you.